Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to Malifaux, and this is my first game with Yan Lo, and moreover, my first game as a Reser. There's been a couple of people calling to see the Resurrectionists in action, and who am I to deny you? So let's get into it. For terrain, we've got some fences, these are some walkways, these are more fences. Impassable terrain, there's a house that you can walk through, but only if you've got a 30mm base, and more gangways and stuff like that. These, whatever they are, crate things are hardcover. I won deployment and, like an idiot, decided to go first. Need to stop doing that out of reflex. And so I deployed my guys like so. From the left, we have Armour the Armour, with Decaying Aura, because that thing looks beastly. Yan Lo himself, with Fortified Spirit, Reliquary, and Brutal Karaoke. I then have a proxied Yin the Penangalalanan, or whatever it is. It's actually Jacob Lynch's hand skeleton, given its own base. I think it works quite well. Next to that we have the Soul Porter, Chiaki the Niece, a Flesh Construct, and Toshiro the Daimyo, with Command the Graves. On my opponent's side we have a Blood Wretch. Illuminated, illuminated, illuminated. So illuminated. That looks like a Beckoner, I think. That's Jacob Lynch. With Endless Hunger, Woke Up with a Hand, and On Wings of Darkness. Then over here we have another Blood Wretch and the Hungering Darkness, with Fear's Given Form and Addict. My plan for this game is to hit the centre hard. I fancy Izamu against the Illuminated. Let's see how they do without healing. And I wouldn't mind getting him into the Hungry Darkness if I get the opportunity. So he and the Flesh Construct are going to be holding the line, whilst Toshiro sits back a little bit and summons from the Carnage. Soul Porter's going to be moving stuff around in position. Chiaki's just going to be hanging around, removing conditions, hopefully. Maybe doing some flank fielding. Yin is going to do the same on the opposite flank. And basically I want Yan Lo getting stuck in the centre, getting chi from all the dying Illuminated that will be happening, hopefully. And once we've cleared out the centre, he can then teleport into the backfield to score his entourage points at the end of the game. I have a plan to get Yanni some extra chi at the beginning of this game. It's not the best plan, but it will do, I think. So I need a low card and a character card in my hand in the first turn, and I'm going to hit Izamu, cheat in a low card for the armor's defense so that I can get myself to be able to cheat in for severe damage. Get some extra chi. His armour will lower, he'll only take 2 damage from that, and then I can heal him up with Chiaki or his own reassembling trick. So let's see how this goes. Turn 1. Well, I've got my low cards, but I don't reckon I'll be red jokering the damage on his armour. That's just a little bit too much, I think. We start things off. So, I think an Illuminated runs up to the bench. I'm sending out Yin into the centre, Chiaki off around the side to try to head off this Blood Wretch that I can see is going to try to flank me. And I'm trying to stall as long as I can and see if anything ventures out into this area where I can start to try to hit it with Yan or get possible charges on it. Toshiro has made the Flesh Construct fast and then run around under this balcony. A Blood Wretch comes up to this fence and I decide to go forward with Yan, try to get some chi up. I take 2 shots, but thanks to cover, I missed them both, and yeah, I should have focused. I gladly discarded one of those shitty cards to get some chi though, and so I've now attached Ash Ascendant, just because I need to start getting him some protection pretty soon. And at the end of the turn, things look like this. We've got some Illuminated up at this fence. This Illuminated got beckoned up, and so has made it a bit closer. The Beckoner's over here inside the building. Jacob Lynch has flown up onto the top of this roof using all his actions. And the Hungry Darkness has moved out over here. And I think maybe tried to do something to Yin but failed. And I'm pretty happy it's out of the open. I mean, this fencing is really going to screw my game over. But with Yan and Izamu, I've got the tools to deal with the Hungry Darkness finally. The way he's positioning his Blood Wretches out on the wide flanks and with Hungry Darkness over here as well is telling me he's pretty likely going for Leave Your Mark, and so my plan is to deny that with Chiaki, she's going to try to basically make this guy insignificant when she can and stop him from dropping any markers. And just stand kind of near them to stop anything he does manage to get through. Yin is going to jump over here, so I made the Soul Porter pushed along, and the plan is I'm going to try to use her to hold down this flank whilst I get my beaters all in the centre. So his armor's walked up over here to the centre, my flesh construct went fast and it's got all the way under here. So yeah, I'm well aware that people say don't use all the ancestors, and I've got, well, I think I've got all the ancestors. I don't have very flexible crew options for taking reses, and I thought, screw it, it's fun. Having all the ancestors is really themey, and yeah, it's going to be fun. But I am realising it's making me a bit inflexible at this point. We go into turn 2, I'm forced to Soulstone, and it actually ends up being a pretty nice hand. I lose the initiative, which becomes quite a theme in this game. Hungry Darkness moves up to around here, I think. Or wherever he could, maybe he moves up onto here, wherever he could use his evil filthy whispers on his Armour, and made him attack Yan low, but thanks to his impossible to wound only did 1 damage, because I soulstoned. And then he slunk away over here by the, whatever those things are, the spools. So what's happened here, we've got some Illuminated have moved up, I think one of them shot his Armour and put a scintillating cloud marker down. I've got Yin going off over here to engage the Blood Wretch and doing completely jack shit. His Armour's charged this Illuminated and done some pretty mean damage, but it's not enough to kill it. And then I think this Illuminated shot the Flesh Construct, and thanks to the it being brilliant, it's taken quite a lot of damage. I think it's taken like 6 damage or something. So I decided to get it right up in their grill. I need to pull the Illuminated out into the open, but mostly I want to activate so that I get the chance to reactivate later when hopefully he's out of cards. And that is a dumbass thing to be trying to do against Jacob Lynch, because he is never out of cards. And there's a slightly less blurry version of that. I use the Soul Porter to push Yanlo over here, so he's gotten some nice good range on Huggy D. And I'm pretty confident I'm going to kill this thing, because the plan is to focus and cheat in the Red Joker for damage, and then hopefully finish it off with the final shot, which will net me some chi, and then I'll be able to just get back into the centre and start dealing with these Illuminated. Unfortunately, the Beckoner can see me through this window and pulls Yan off the gangway and onto the floor where he can't see Huggy D anymore and hasn't got the movement to do the shenanigans I want to. That was a major move, and I'm not sure my opponent quite realised what a spoke that put in my plans. But yeah, good move. So instead, I lightning dance into his Illuminated, sending it to go off and play with Yin over here, and hit this Illuminated for a severe, which means because I discarded a card to get 1 chi at the beginning of my activation, I have 2 chi and can Spirit Ascendant attach. That's a word. So now I have a fairly durable master. Let's start harvesting some chi. The other thing was that I've now moved one of his models out of the scoring zone. So at the end of the turn, that's pretty much how things look. Chiaki moved up here, tried to make the Wretch insignificant, failed and moved back towards the centre. I realise at the moment I'd probably like to be using her ability to push everything out of the centre range. So I'd like her to be back towards where she can actually do something. Because where Hungry Darkness is now, I'm not going to stop him from getting Leave Your Mark if that's what he's got. So at the end of this turn, we each score a point for extraction. Oh, and Jacob Lynch moved into this zone, so we're also drawing. Moving into turn 3, that's my hand. That's with a Soul Stone. I ditch the 2 wands so that I can basically guarantee I won't have the Black Joker 2 turns in a row. But yeah, I'm not impressed with that. This is an Illuminated getting a Red Joker attack on Toshiro, who moved... I don't think I did this well. Basically, I decided that instead of hanging back and trying to do the scheme marker, summoning from the rear, I needed to try to get him in and get bodies in there and push back the Illuminated with weight of numbers. And this was he was drawing 4 or 5 cards as a negative flip, and Toshiro's Red Joker problem rears its head. I Soulstone the damage and flip the Red Joker, so that was pretty lucky. However, as the turn goes on, the Illuminated's minimum damage cut him down, and I lose my summoner. That's going to be a problem, but I've got Reliquary, I can bring him back. Yin reveals catch and release on the two dudes here, and I'm pretty happy about her reputation as a tar pit, so we'll see how things go over here. But it's giving Yan low chi, and I decide it's time to make my move with him, so I lightning dance Jacob Lynch, who has come a bit too close. I luckily get it off and place him right next to Izamu, and this is going to be fun. I then give Izamu armor +4 and then dink this Illuminator for some damage. The Blood Wretch just runs at Chiaki as he's not quite in melee range, charge range even, and I give him a catch and release thing, but I discover I can't do that thing where I push him away because he's immune to pulses, and with defense 4, like, oh my goodness, it's going to be difficult for me to get out and get her into the scoring zone where I need her. However, she can see the Illuminated through this gap under the planking, so I am using her zero action to try to dink off more damage on the Illuminated. I think I take this one down to its last wound. But excuse me for getting ahead of myself. Izamu went, and I now have 3 attacks to use on Jacob Lynch, and he can't soulstone the damage. I hit with my first attack and severe the damage, and basically halve Lynch's wounds, and then proceed to miss the next 2 attacks. Oh my goodness. I had him. I thought I had him. And it's really felt like an uphill struggle this game. I keep losing the duels. I had a pretty bad hand this turn. My opponent had a pretty awesome one, it seems. But this is the thing with Lynch, he's got so much card cycling that he can maintain a really quite good hand by the mid-game, and it just makes it very tough. Lynch rolls up his sleeves and decides to show everyone why he's not to be messed with. He plays for blood with Izamu, doing 1 damage and making me brilliant. He then does Final Debt for 5 damage, and I take 1 damage. He then hits Izamu again with Final Debt, doing 5 damage, and I take 1 damage. Hell yeah, Armour 4. Me likey. So the Hungry Darkness moves over here, drops a scheme marker, moves over here, and then at the end of the turn he picks it up, revealing Leave Your Mark. I score for catch and release, because these 2 jokers couldn't hurt my Yin. And we go into turn 4, I have the Soulstone again. I lose the initiative again, and Jacob Lynch goes and finishes off Izamu. I had him dead to rights, and now I am very much on the back foot. I think Yin probably flails a bit at these guys over here, just, keep him busy. The Beckoner beckons Yanlo off the roof, and I don't care. And then I I use my precious 13 to bring Izamu back into the fray. I give him his armour back, good old armour 4, and heal him up some more. I think I heal him 3 damage. And it looks like I also took out an Illuminated from here, so not bad. But Izamu does not have his upgrade, and so it is going to be a bit of a struggle to hold this centre. At the end of the turn, things look like this. Huggy Darkness drops another marker, moves over here. Guess what other scheme he's got? Chiaki fails again to get away from the Blood Wretch. Come on, Chiaki, just pull your finger out. She tries to snipe the Illuminated through this gap again. I don't think she does any damage. I really mess up what I'm doing with Izamu. Quite a key mistake, I think, in retrospect. I try to... Jacob Lynch has got 5 wounds left. I go for luck, as if he falls, then I've pretty much back in the game. I get 1 hit through, he soulstones for 3, and basically I miss the other one and can't kill Lynch. I should have attacked the Illuminated. Much better chance of killing it, and that choice does bite me in the arse in a little bit later. We both score for extraction again. I get the catch and release, and he gets his Leave Your Mark. So it's close, ladies and gentlemen. We go into turn 5, there's the hand. I think I've got what I need to try to do this. With the 12, I can summon back in Toshiro. I've got a Soulstone left, so I can use the 10 to bring a Ashigaru in, using Toshiro's summon. Hopefully that's enough to have those bodies in the centre. I just need to kill enough models that he can't score his final extraction point. But I lose the initiative. Lynch goes and takes Izamu down for the second time with extreme prejudice. And that really kind of scuppers the plan. Yanni goes. He drops 3 chi to gain Bone Ascendant, and I'm pretty sure I had more than the 6 chi, because I've been forgetting to gain it for all the people that have been dying. So yeah, sitting him near the mosh pit in the middle really racks up the cheat very quickly. I cheat in my 12 to summon Toshiro, and then Hunpo Assault to the other side of the building, just into his deployment zone. And that is such a powerful move. But that Illuminated I left alive bites me in the arse, charges Toshiro, and red jokers him to death. So there's that plan down the toilet. So, I know my opponent's getting 10 points. As it stands, I'm going to get 9 points. But if both Yin and Chiaki can get their arses into the centre zone, and Chiaki is in range to jump into engagement with Lynch and use an interact action to give him the catch and release. If I do that, I'll get 10 points and it's going to be a draw. So I go for it. Good old Yin slithers away out of engagement, despite the Blood Wretch and the Illuminated both making disengaging strikes, but Chiaki, frickin' Chiaki, can't get away from a single Blood Wretch. She has been a real disappointment in this game, probably because I've played her badly. And that, dear friends, is the end of the game. Cog scored 4 points for Extraction, and I don't think he bothered to move the marker at any point. 3 points for Leave Your Mark, and 3 points for Undercover Entourage. I scored 3 points for Extraction, 2 points for Catch and Release, because both these dudes just removed their markers as soon as Yin was away from them, and 3 points for Undercover Entourage. So we end the game with the Neverborn 10 to the Resurrectionist 8. And what can I say, my opponent played well. He's getting quite handy with Lynch now, and that was just an excellent game. Really tense, pretty close, and you know, I made some mistakes, but I don't think that's a bad first outing with the Reses. So yeah, my thoughts: Yin, excellent. Although my opponent would have done better if he'd focused, but he knows that now for next time. I played Toshiro too aggressively and didn't really have enough minions in the list to make him really shine, so he was not a great game for him. Toshiro, Izamu with 4 armour. Yes, yes please. And the Decaying Aura, that combination is quite nasty. Chiaki, disappointed in you. It's so good to have that condition removal, but I just find her not doing enough work for me. By the way, if you're wondering what happened to the Soul Porter, I ran him over and sacrificed him to give Yanlo some extra chi at one point in the game, as he wasn't going to be doing anything else, basically but dying to Huggy D. In all, I actually really like Yanlo. He is so flexible, and I can definitely being him being my more scheme-based master for 10 Thunders and Resurrectionists. But I'm going to be honest, he takes a lot of thinking, or at least he took a lot of thinking on my part. Quite complicated to play, and I'm not sure how regularly we'll see him. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. Take care.